Well, hello to everyone. This is Caroline. And I've come down to the beach today because I just felt the need to breathe in the incredibly fresh air here. And it is a misty day, but there's incredible beauty to the ocean, whatever its colors or whatever its mood. So I've been thinking about the tremendous changes that people have been going through and the planet has been going through. This powerful light coming in from the sun, the monoatomic gold dust, and just everything. All this stuff going on in the world. All this feeling that we could be rescued by this situation or that. Or questions, will we be rescued by this situation or that? Where are the galactics while all this is going on? Etc. So I've asked the collective to please lend their beautiful light and their supportive energies to this video, which isn't going to be long, but I wanted to share that I have been through tremendous changes myself the past few months. Some things were very hard. Releasing a relationship, and which takes more than a month or two to do fully, and losing a friend whose time on this planet was done, I guess. It's very hard to accept. She was like a sister to me, but I do accept it somehow. I am working on accepting it. And then there's all this stress people are feeling about the current instability of much of the social fabric and the economic and political situations, and it's just, I want to say, a sort of crisis time in a way, and yet something incredible can be born in that crisis. And I'm just sort of saying to the universe these days, it's kind of like Jacob wrestling with the angel, as an English friend of mine said ages ago. I mean, I was really young when she said this. But she pointed out that Jacob wrestled with the angel until he was able to extract a blessing from the angel, and that we wrestle with situations in life until we're able to extract a blessing. And I think maybe it takes some determination on one hand and also a letting go on the other hand, to embrace fully whatever we're going through, feelings of loss, feelings of shock, grief, uncertainty, stress, worry, all of this. We're looking for relief from all of that. We're looking for a safe port in the storm. And what's interesting is that those from a slight distance feel and experience what we're going through, just like you and I are watching these waves. And I know I use wave analogies a lot when I'm out at the beach, but you can see how powerfully they're pounding the sand and these rocks that are worn down, worn smooth by so many centuries of seawater slapping into them. And if we were in that wave and felt helpless in the power of the ocean, we might feel like, well, I'm in trouble here. When does this end? Where do I get to the point where my feet touch the sand again? But at this distance, we know that the bottom is there. And so long as you don't put yourself too far out into the water, you're going to find it. And deep water is all about intense emotion. And I'm finding that in addition to tapping and meditating, chanting mantras, Sanskrit mantras, if I can just rest, relax, be out in nature a bit, I can come away from the more intense emotions. And then they're not running my life. They're not running the show. I feel some days that they would if I let them. And it's this strange balance of letting go, embracing what is, and yet letting go of it. And not needing to control outcomes. And not fearing loss of control. And I think that's one of the great things that we face when we face grief, because we realize anything that's precious to us could be taken from us and is taken from us throughout life. I lost a friend when I was, still in my early 20s, and another one when I was 29. He was still quite young, and then a friend who was 26 when I was in my early 40s, and you almost feel like, this is strange. I shouldn't lose anybody who's still young. This is completely bizarre. And yet I feel that the loss of anyone, even at my age, is strange. It's never going to make sense to the left brain. It's never going to make sense to how we're raised. We're always going to have to go outside of our training and open up and say to our spirit team, well, I can't make sense of this. I can't make sense of how millions of people have relinquished huge decisions in their lives to some utterly unfeeling, self-proclaimed authority. And they're supposed to be taking comfort in that. And I don't understand why we engage with people on the level of loving and accepting them as if they were family members, and then we have to let go. And I could sit here all day saying, I don't understand why anyone would allow children to be trafficked or harmed or animals harmed or eaten or etc. On and on and on. I could absolutely get angry about that, and it would mean nothing to the universe. The universe, if anything, would smile at that. Because it's not the universe's job to make sure our lives are wonderful. It's our job. That sounds very cold. So I realize what the collective are saying right now is just saying, dear ones, don't be afraid of the tremendous changes that you yourselves have called in and come here to spur on energetically. Don't be shocked at the shifts you see with the shift in vibration of the earth herself and all life upon her, because this you have called in, this you have, all of you, co-created. This is what you are here for, this beautiful and astounding moment. And the pain, the difficulty, that will be calmed, that will be mitigated. The more you let go, the more you don't need to ask why. Can you cease asking why for a bit? And wondering what is coming down the road, when in fact all of you are still creating that? And come into this beautiful knowing of how resilient your spirit is. And some people may be wondering, will I end up in a tent or sleeping in my car? There's so many millions already are doing. How many family members will I lose to this whole illness situation and its effects? Many, many people, most people asking these sorts of questions. So if you as a planet have decided upon this tremendous shift, know that it is not all for naught. It is not something that you're going through purely for the frustration of it. Are you willing to release the frustration? Are you willing to release the feelings of aggravation and shock and not understanding why things happen, as our writer is saying? Are you willing to come out of the left brain and all its ridiculous demands and just say, I am. I am that I am. And what is? I embrace you. I accept you. So perhaps put your arm around that right now, both arms around that, as you're looking at this brilliant sun. You notice it's still there, even on a cloudy, misty day. And the power of your soul is still here, dear ones. And you have not been forgotten. Know that we are with you at all times. Namaste.